Deploying ICF host VM from OVA. This is the first step in deploying Cisco Intercloud Fabric version 2.21a. With this we get ICF director, which is the portal for user and admin, and the other one is PNSC, Prime Network Services Controller, which is the workhorse behind the automation. In a four-step deployment, this is the first one, and the next one is infrastructure. After we deploy the OVA, we get the portal, log into the portal as an admin, and then from there we do rest of the steps. And then in that infrastructure stage, it registered the PNSC with the virtual center, add the virtual center to the PNSC, deploy the CVSM, which is the Nexus 1000V component, which does all the networking for ICF. And then we upload the services bundle, which we will download from Cisco website. This bundle kind of have two OVA, one for the firewall, VSG, other is for the CSR router. And the last one is creating your tunnel between your data center and the cloud, Amazon and Azure. There's a separate tunnel for them. So ICX on the data center side, Intercloud Extender, and ICS on the cloud side, Intercloud Switch. So Amazon, Azure, both will have one ICS, and on the data center we'll have two ICX, one for each. That'll kind of complete the deployment. Now, if I go back here, this will probably give us some understanding where the steps lies and where we are right now. So if you remember, the step-by-step deployment will be first deploy this ICF host VM, and that will deploy ICFD and PNSC. Next would be, from there, next stage is infrastructure setup. In that situation, in that stage it'll go CVSM and also the registration part, and the third one is the cloud. So that's the kind of setup, 3 stages. So let's go onto the website and show that how to download this, which file to download from Cisco website. So I'm in support.cisco.com, or if you go to the cisco.com and click support and download Cisco Intercloud Fabric, and we're talking about the business one here. So that's for Intercloud Fabric for business. And you can see the latest one, 2.21a, and there are 3 packages. This one is the base one, which kind of deploys the ICF host VM, and these are the additional packages I mentioned. So we just download these 2, and this is if you're upgrading from the previous release. So pretty much you need these 2. This is the base, and this is for the services like VSG and CSR. So once you download that, I kind of already downloaded that to save time, and I go into the deploy OVA template, browse to that OVA. I already actually deployed once, so it is there. Yeah, that's the one. Next. Accept standard stuff. Next. Sorry, actually I already deployed this one. Just name it as 1, just to show you that how to deploy. Next is we have one. It's a lab environments. We have only one host, so I would probably keep thick Agar 0, but for now I'll keep thin provisioning. You'll need 350 gig of disk space, so keep that in mind. So for me, the management is management 17. Next. And here's a means place you're going to give all the information to him, to the your ICF host, that what are the IP addresses, host name. So that's your host name, that's your ICFD host name. So there's a difference. ICF host name is it doesn't do anything actually. It means just hosting those PNSC and ICFD. ICFD host IP address you're going to log in. So that's the host name in the ICFD, and the password and the management. Okay, password has to be complex. So just follow what they're saying. So if you don't keep a complex one, it probably will accept and go through, and but later it'll complain once you try to bring it up. And so just keep in mind that it has to be as it is written, at least one capital, one lowercase, one number, and the password will be okay. So that will be shared with ICF, ICFD, and PNSC. All three will be the same password. IP address, that's the ICF host IP address. Normally there's not much use for that, but I'll keep it anyway. And now the ICFD host, the management portal. Next is PNSC. Subnet mask. Gateway. DNS. These are all kind of fictitious numbers. So syslog, NTP, you can give those, and then you can put the time zone of that. Once it is done, then next, and then power on and deployments. Once you've done it's going to take some time to deploy that, and let's pause this one and come back once it is up. Okay, so it's deployed and came back up fine, and after it installed, it kind of see this is the screen on the console. Now let's go back to your SSH. Like we try to connect to that for troubleshooting. There is an option for SSH, so you can do SSH into that. Again, that's something with UCSD concepts. You can use the shell admin username. That's 172. And password is the same password we gave during the installation. Those who are familiar with your UCS directory, the menu is exactly same. Let me give the fonts a bit bigger. Okay, so these are self-explanatory. So you can see the services here. These will be the services should be running. Start services, database. There's a MySQL database, same as UCS directory again. Backup, restore, ping if you want to troubleshoot some kind of connectivity issue, show version, that's 2.21a, network details and infrastructure logs, apply patch, those kind of. So you can see that service is running. That's probably you need to see, and if there's in troubleshooting, you can do it from here. Now I'm going back into the host. We have only one host in this, a lab, and the networking. The thing I was talking, like there's two port group we have created. One is management VLAN 17, so that's going to hold all the management component of the ICF. ICF. So this is VLAN 17, and the other one is for trunk. So here we have just allowed everything, but you could probably allow the specific VLANs only. So that's the trunk. So once that is done, it's pretty much ready. We can log in and start configuring. So this is the kind of portal you get once you first time log in. And the same password. So just to reiterate, we are going into the ICFD, Intercloud Fabric director. So if you see this page, that's the ICFD, the top one we are in right now. And in the same VM host, there is another one, is PNSC. And we'll do the initial setup while it's going to deploy this the registration part plus deploy the CVSM. I'll probably pause it till the time it comes. Okay, so it's back. So it's not that slow. The reason is we have only one host and everything is running there, so that's probably the reason it's so slow. So this is the interface. Again, very familiar with ECS director. Bit difference in the menus here. Infrastructure. That's I was talking about the infrastructure, the first stage, and then the cloud. It deploys the cloud, and then you can compute and networking information. And the organization is like if you see as ECS director, the service profile, service requests. You can see what are the tasks running. We would see that, and approvals if it's required. Policies similar to ECS data catalog, virtual and ICF policies. Administration, where you do the licensing. So it comes with 60 days license, which is good. You can probably play with that for 60 days. And you can see the license utilization here. There is nothing right now, so it allows 20 VM. But again, just keep in mind, if you have on the Amazon or Azure, if you deploy 10 VM, it will consume 20 tokens. So 20 VMs license will be consumed. So you can have half the VM on the Amazon Azure. But if it's Cisco Cloud, then you can have 20 VMs deployed. So again, uploading the license, once you get the update the license, is pretty straightforward. Get the pack file, get the license file from license.cisco.com, and then upload here. Mail, yeah, you can set up the mail user system. Here is the similar interfaces. System task. There are certain tasks that runs every sometime, so you can see them. You can see it here. VMware task, system task, storage, HA. We don't have any HA right now. Mail setup for any email sent out of the usage director. Yeah. So my database backup, if you are running any better backup job. So that's pretty simple interface. There is nothing interesting here. So let's jump into the first part, where we're going to deploy, do the registration part with the virtual center, because still ICFD doesn't know anything about the environment. He doesn't know where is the vCenter. He doesn't know where is the cloud. So the first part, we're going to get him oriented with your vCenter environment and do the registration part. Without that, probably we can't proceed further. So infrastructure. and then this is the interface. We'll run the setup and it'll do take care of all the jobs. Upload service bundles. If you remember the service bundles we're talking about, launch PNSC. You can launch the PNSC after it is. You can launch the PNSC from, or you can go straight to the URL also. Export Azure certificate. The way Azure works, it can you have to upload the certificate to Azure, and then you can deploy the ICF and ICS on Azure. And Amazon is a bit different. You have to get the access key and ID before you can do that. Download logs and upgrade. So that's probably we don't do today. So let's run the setup and see how it does it look like. So we have to enter the information regarding the vCenter. Okay, so I kind of typed all the VMware information. Oh, okay, good. It's added successfully. Then I can select it from here. VLAN networking is 17 for us. IP pool, if you remember the IP pool we are talking about, this is the management IP pool. So let's make a management IP pool. Same of ECS directory again here. So I'll put if you remember minimum 4, we'll just keep 5. So if you bring your cursor here, it kind of tells you what you're expecting. So if you see that it's not like 172.17.17.55-60. Now you have to put the full IP address. ID 17. Data center is DMZ ICF network. You have to put this is the VSM it's talking about. If you remember ICF VSM, CVSM, so that's the one would go into management 17. And which host? We have got only one host, so we don't have any option. Data store, and you can also put advanced, and you can have HA kind of thing. So we're not going to do any HA here. So okay. So that's pretty simple, like just one page, everything is there, and then you submit it. And UCSD and PNSC will take care of the rest. And you can monitor what it is doing. You can go to the service request, like to monitor that, and you can see there is one service request automatically generated and it's in progress. If you double click, you see what's happening here. So it's registered the PNSC right now. That's kind of overall picture you get. And if you go into the logs, you go into more specific. So if you click that refresh button, it takes you all the way to the bottom. And okay, we might have some problem with the DNS configuration, so we'll have to take care of that. So the thing is, like you can see in red that the anything is not correct or we have configured wrong. It'll tell you that okay, this is not right thing, and check back. So we are going to change the DNS and then come back. Otherwise, it kind of goes each and every step what is doing, registration, and adding a vCenter to the PNSC and the PNSC password. It's kind of deploying the PNSC anyway, and it has got it from the IP pool. That's an IP pool. Its bundle is this one. So workflow has completed, status failed. So if I go here, so Yeah, it has failed. So we'll have to fix that and then come back again. Thank you. Okay, back after changing the DNS. So I changed the DNS, and then you can see the logs is kind of completed successfully. So let me show why do we change the DNS. So that's the policies. Infrastructure policies, then profile, edit. So I kind of changed the policy, your DNS server name here. Save that, then went back to the infrastructure. I run the setup again. So once we run the setup again, then there is a second service request and was created, and that has gone through the steps of registering PNSC to the virtual center, adding virtual center to the PNSC, and you can see that that's the second task. So let's look at that. Oh, sorry. We should go to the service request, and from there. So everything is kind of successful. Let's look at the logs now. From the top, it's extending the bundles, checking PNSC status, PNSC up and running, adding a vCenter to the registering PNSC with vCenter and adding vCenter to the PNSC, adding PNSC to ICD, PNSC to ICD, and it's checking the profile, checking that DNS, and then it's kind of installing the CVSM. Let me check. Okay, that's the NTP. Okay, reserve IP address for CVSM, and IP address is 56. Because I have a Nexus 1000 with background problem, I'll show you. You can also see things and for troubleshooting purpose. So you can party into that. Up 172.17.17.56. So those who are kind of familiar with Nexus 1000V, you can run the same commands. Right now, there's only one module. We didn't kind of deploy in HA. So single module show interface brief. There's nothing much here right now. Show status. Yeah, it has not still done those things, but we just kind of install the basic Nexus 1000V, and once you do the cloud part, ICX and ICS, you'll see them as a module. If you run the show mod, that'll show as a module, a Ethernet module, VM module. So that is done, and finally it's kind of completed. Let's go back to the slide now. So if you remember, now we have got ICF host VM deployed, PNSC is deployed, ICFD is deployed. Also CVSM is deployed, which is the Nexus 1000V. That kind of manages the networking for ICF, as I mentioned before. So next stage, we're going to deploy the cloud portion, in which we're going to make the link with cloud, Amazon and Azure. On the private side, we're going to deploy ICX, and on the public side, we're going to deploy ICS, Intercloud Extender and Intercloud Switch, and making a VPN tunnel through ICF. So let's go back and see in the ICF directory how it looks like. So this is the second time we tried. So you can see the PNSC IP, and it is success. ICF VSM IP success. So that's in standard mode. Now you can launch the PNSC from here if you want to log in there. We don't have to do right now, but once we do the services, especially VSG and CSR and IG, we have to use PNSC console for this version. And also we can upload the services bundle from here. We can just click and upload the bundle from here. And this uploads the OVA for the VSG and CSR to PNSC. That's all for now. For next stage, we're going to deploy this ICX and ICS, and I'll stop this session right now.